Hi, and welcome to the Elliott Eijo Property Management 101 series. Today we're going to be talking about your maintenance reserve, the $500 maintenance reserve that we collect from you at the very beginning of our process, as well as what constitutes an emergency maintenance request.
All right. So the $500 is collected at the beginning of the process. These funds are put into an account specifically for maintenance. This is not a fee. These are your dollars that are going into an account specifically for maintenance. That way, if something breaks, we have money set aside to make repairs. All right, so this $500, it is fully refundable, okay? So if for whatever reason, let's say you sell the home, you want to move back into it, you want to cancel your services, those $500 would be refunded to you. And the $500 is the only upfront fee that we collect. The other fees, actually correction, it's not a fee.
It's not a fee.
It's a monies that are collected.
It's an escrow reserve for the client. So basically, we're going to hold that money in our account. In the offset chance, or the chance that you have a repair that's needed for the home that's within our maintenance limit of $500, we have those funds there available to us to make the repairs in a very timely manner, because our biggest goal for you as your asset manager for your property is to retain your tenants, because the most expensive time that an owner, a property owner, can experience is when a turnover occurs. So we want to make sure that we're on top of things that need to be taken care of for your tenants at your home. That would be your responsibility.
Can you give me like a scenario of how a bill would be paid and when it's replenished?
All right, for instance, we have somebody that calls in and says that we have a garbage disposal that is not working. We've gone through all the troubleshooting for that garbage disposal. We found out that we reset the button. We used
all the tricks and tips that we do.
All the tips and tricks that we could possibly do, yes, troubleshooting. And we find out that about 30% of the time that works. But in that offset chance that it doesn't work and we have to replace that item, we would go ahead, and items such as a garbage disposal are very common. We understand what the cost is going to be. We would hire our vendor to go out and replace that. Usually those are going to be within the $500 limits. And we would go ahead and receive that bill from that vendor, and we would take those reserve funds and pay that bill as soon as we were able to. We want to get our vendors paid as quickly as possible to keep them happy with us, because they're giving us great pricing. They're giving us a top of the list
preferential treatment to our clients,
yeah.
Which is part of one of the benefits of working with us, is that we have a great vendor network that you all have access to. Our vendors are the best vendors we could find, the most competitively priced, the most honest. These guys, they work on our own personal properties, so we definitely have a full vetting process to work with our vendors. So
in the end, all of our vendors are licensed and insured, which is required by us just due to the liability. We want to make sure that a vendor that goes into your house and potentially could damage something, could electrocute themselves, could do something which could cause damage to the house, we want them to be able to pay for that in some way if they do something on accident. Not that this has really occurred for us, but this is something that could occur, and we want to make sure that we are reducing the liability of something happening where you would be responsible or we would be responsible.
Yeah, and our vendors, they take care of us, we take care of them, and the way that we take care of our vendors is just getting paid in a timely manner. That's very important. So John, I guess once we make a payment for one of our owner clients, the following month we would replenish the $500 reserve from the next month's rent.
So let's take that example of the garbage disposal. That garbage disposal probably cost us $350. So we would pay that $350 out of your maintenance reserve, your escrow reserve. That would leave you with $150 left. So you'd have to, the next month when the rent comes in from the tenant, we would take our management fees out, and then we would replenish that $350 that was lacking in your maintenance reserve. We would replenish that, and then we would send you the balance. And of course, we would send you a statement the following month with a copy of that invoice, so you have it for your tax records and just for you to be able to review.
Most definitely. Very, very good information there. So we want to talk about emergencies and what constitutes an emergency. So oftentimes we get contacted by tenants and saying, hey, this is an emergency, we need you to take care of it. And we are aware of what the law says is an emergency. And we definitely want to be as responsive as possible whilst being as cost-minded as possible. But when it comes to emergencies, oftentimes you need to be able to spring into action. So we have a 24-hour emergency hotline where your tenant could reach us at. If for whatever reason there's something going on at your home, they have a way to get a hold of us, night or day. And then we have a whole process on how we deal with this. So if a tenant puts in an emergency maintenance request, we are going to do everything possible to get it taken care of as quickly as we can. So John, let's talk about the cost of an emergency repair. Does the $500 maintenance or the $500 spending limit, does that impact if there's an emergency?
The $500 spending limit is on general maintenance, normal items. Say, for instance, if we had a water leak on a Saturday night because a pipe busts in the wall, you're going to want us to take care of that. We're going to want to get it taken care of. We're going to want to limit the damage as much as possible. We're going to send somebody out there. Is it going to possibly be over $500? Yes, it probably will be because it's after hours. It's an emergency call, but it's necessary to take care of this item for you, and there's no way around it. Are we going to tell if it's a busted pipe or it's a water softener system or something like that we're going to contain those items, and then we're going to probably reach out to you and let you know what's occurred and then come up with a game plan moving forward. But we may have to spend over that $500 if it's an emergency. Say, let's give another example of an air conditioning going out, right? I mean, an air conditioner in any house could run anywhere from $4,000 to plus $1,000. We're certainly not going to just go out and replace an air conditioner for you right away, but we are going to address getting somebody out there to take a look at it, assessing the damages, whatever that may be, and then going ahead and coming up with a game plan for you.
So if the temperature outside gets below or above a certain degree, we have to consider it an emergency. So we have great AC vendors that'll get out there on those nights when it's 10 degrees outside. I mean, it does get that cold out here sometimes.
Very rare.
But we're prepared for situations like that. You know, and sometimes we deal with situations where a tenant puts in a maintenance request and they claim it's an emergency, but we know that it is not an emergency. So we just don't send out an emergency electrician or a plumber for a dripping faucet that just came in last night. You know, we're going to assess the situation and we're going to triage the issue on its level of importance. When it comes to health and safety, that's something we definitely don't play with. We take that very seriously. So anything that is a liability, anything that could be a problem where somebody can get hurt and create any possible liability, we're very much on the ball when it comes to that, or as best as we can be. Any other examples that you could think of, John, that could be an emergency? So we have temperature outside, we have liability, you talked about running water. Anything else that you could think of?
I mean, there's a myriad of things that could occur for emergencies. Again, the plumbing issues are the main thing. Air conditioning not working when it's 90 plus degrees outside, or if it's very cold out and your heater's not working. But typically those are going to be most of the emergencies you're going to run into. But we could run into one of those one-off situations. Can't think of anything right off the top of my head.
We've had houses catch fire. You know, tenants will call us and say, "Hey, my house got fire," and then we have to spring into action. But when it comes to what constitutes an emergency, we take that very seriously, and we have systems in place so that way, you know, we could have the best results for our clients.